Hello everyone, I Sakshi Arora, Research Associate, International School of Business Management, Suresh Kendra University, Jaipur. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about methods of performance appraisal. As we know, what is the performance appraisal? Appraise the performance of the employee who are working uh, for the organization, for achieving the goals of the organization, and why the organization need to appraise the performance of the employee, all the thing, and what to do, how to do, all this thing we already read in the last chapter. So let's understand basic about the performance appraisal. Performance appraisal, that means when we recruit any employee, when we select any employee for a particular job, that is a particular task, you can say, that means that is given by the organization. So the task and the job which is given by the organization, so it is not like that the organization will not no need to check that how they are doing well or not. Is it like that? No, basically. So we can say every organization need to appraise the performance after a specific period of the time. So same as it is here, that means performance appraisal is the part of the human resource management in which the organization appraise the performance, that means evaluate the performance of the employee, that means they will check their expectation and the outcome which is given by the employee, basically that is known as the performance appraisal. So there are various methods for appraising the performance. So let's understand what are the methods that we can read in this lecture. So basically, we can say like there are two types of the method. The first one is the traditional method, and the second one is the modern method. Traditional method and the modern method. What is the difference and what comes under the traditional method? What comes under the modern method, basically? So let's discuss in this matter in this chapter. So as you can see here, what is the traditional method? Traditional is like those methods which the organization is using since the past over years. Okay, what methods comes under the traditional method? The first one is the ranking method, pair comparison, grading, forced distribution method, forced choice method, checklist method, critical incident method, graphic scale method, field review method, and the last one is the confidential report, basically. And what comes under the modern method? The first one is the management by objective, that is also known as the MBO. BARS, bars basically is known as the behaviorally anchored rating skills, assessment center, 360-degree appraisal, and the last one is the post accounting method. So these are the method, those comes under the traditional method, and few methods comes under the modern method. So let's we start first the traditional method. What is a traditional method? Any idea about it? What is a traditional method? Have you read before this? Do you have any idea about it? What are the traditional method? So basically, we started from the let's start with the ranking method. So we understand what is a ranking method and how we can use this method for the performance appraisal of the employee. So basically, in this ranking method, the manager who use this method, they will compare each employee with other employee rather than they use a standard measurement. That means they will compare one employee to other employee, those who are similar that employees, and in which ranking method basically the two ranking thing is there. That means how first one is that ki at the top, those employee who rank at the top is ranked as a best and on the basis of their performance, and those employee those comes under the top bottom is ranking as a poorest. So employees are ranked from best to the poorest on basis these ranking totally basis on their overall performance in the organization. So basically ranking can also be used for development purpose by letting employee know where they stand in comparison to their peers. So as you know, when we talk about the comparison, so it's like the create the enthusiasm to do any work, that also develop the school skills for doing a particular task. So every employee has a right to know where they stand in their organization. They can also compare their standard with their superiors, with their peers also. So this can also be motivate, so that thing also be motivate to improve their performance. So basically, why we need to rank, why we need to appraise the performance of the employee. So basically, employees ranked in the top group, those employee who comes under the category of the top ranking. Okay, that was a five excellent. Okay, so that means they will get the raise their salary, they will get the bonus and maybe get the promotion also. So those not at the top to have the reward with hand, and those at the bottom sometimes get punished. Those comes under the at the bottom sometime they will punished by the organization. Punishment is like the maybe increase their working hours, maybe cut their salary and etc. So manager have to take the decision and evaluation about those who is the employee of the month, like particularly they will check their performance, they will check monthly. So maybe if there is a 5%, so it is not like that every month the same person will get the highest ranking at the top level. So this is not like that. So who get a raise or who or the promotion, that is totally depend on their ranking. Basically that is totally depend on their performance. So they will, it is through the ranking method because it is a very simple method. So they can easily evaluate, they can easily ranking to their employees. So this is very simple method, and but also subjective to invite the criticism basically. So ranking methods have also the four ways to appraise the performance of the employee. So let one by one we discuss. So there are various ranking methods. So first, simple or straight ranking. To the word the simple, it is a very simple method. This method requires the raters to rank all subordinate from the best to worst. It provides an ordinal scoring. That means in which, if suppose 10 employees are working in that department, so one by one, basis on their performance, the manager will rank like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, so it is not necessary कि always the one person uh, uh, on this position of the top level. It is not like that, because it is a simple method, or maybe the sometime manager may involve the bias, create the, you can see the favorism bias between the employee. So this method only indicates how a person stands in a relation to other in a group basically. Because through this method, we can easily compare the person, we can easily analyze where they can stand, what are their relation with other group basically. So let's understand it through the example. So suppose there are 5 people working in the organization. Okay? So 5 is like A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. So maybe A at on their performance get the 5, B get the 4, and C get the 3, D get the 1, and E get the 2. So what do you mean by this? A position stand for 5, B position for the 4, C position for the 3, D position for the 1. That means those amplitude 5 is like not the lower value. 5 is like the excellent. 4 is like the very good, then the good, average, poor. Okay. So in which we can see, like in which you can see person A, person A is basically at the top level. Okay. That means the top. And the D, person D at the bottom. So person A who will get the reward because person A is basically, you can see here, person A at the top level ranking method. In the ranking method, person A on the 5, so that means he is on the top level. Okay, and he will maybe the reward, bonus, and maybe increase his salary. Okay, if we talk about the person D who is at the lower, that means at the position at the bottom, that means we will get the 1. So maybe punished by the organization. So this is a thing we can say, like this is a very simple or easy method. We can, if we have the 50 member in the organization, so we can easily analysis how they are doing, what are their ranking, what is their performance, and the all the things. Okay, so I hope you understand uh, easily about the ranking method, simple ranking method. So let's we discuss about what is the paired comparison. Paired comparison. Paired, through the word you can easily understand. Paired is not like that the person can compare with himself or herself. Require the other person, the group member. So this is a very good technique. This is a very better technique rather than the straight ranking method that we earlier studied. So in this method, the one person is also compared with all other. Like if suppose I have the 5 member in the organization. The first one is the A, B, C, D, E. So the A who will also compare with the B, C, D, E. Okay. Then we will compare the person B. Person B also compare as A, C, D, E. Or same as it is, we will compare others member in a group also. So under this method, employees of a group compare with each other at a one time. Okay, so this is a very easy technique. So we can compare the one person, we can compare the group of employees at the same time. This method, after all the comparison, on the basis of their overall comparison, the employees are given the final ranking. That means those who have getting the hired, like you can say the good ranking, got the highest effectiveness or highest marking in that method. So according to that, we will get the final ranking basically. So how can we know how many times of number is compared with each other in a group member? So the formula is that n multiple n minus 1 divided by 2 basically. So what is the mean, you can say where I want to know, where I want to comparing the 7%. Okay. So 7%, if I talk about the, I want to compare the 7%. So how many times 7% is like, we put the 7 in the formula. So how many number is here? the 7, okay, and the 7 subtract 1 divided by 2, okay. So 7 multiple 6 divided by 2 basically. So we got here 42 divided by, that means equal to 21. Okay, got it? So we compared the 7 numbers with each other the 21 times basically. So it represents, this formula represents the total number of employees being evaluated in this method. So this is also the very better ranking method, we can say, rather than the straight ranking method. So let's understand it through the example. There are 3 persons, Marco, Sam, and the Sally. So if we compare is that, through this diagram, we can understand if we compare Marco and the Sam, the comparison between is that who is better? Marco is better. If we compare the Sam and the Sally, who is better? Sally is better. Then Sam is out from that. Then if we compare the Marco and the Sally, so who is the better? Marco. So according to that, we ranking them. So Marco is better than others. This diagram shows that highest ranking is the Marco, then Sally, then the same basically. That means Marco get the 3, then Sally get the 2, and the same at the 1. Okay. So this is the we can understand it through the another example also, like suppose we take, there are the 5%, okay, A, B, C, D, and the E. Okay, here is the 5%. Then we will compare the 1% from each other, and on their performance we get the final result. Okay, so in the paired comparison, basically, if suppose we can compare to the two signs, positive or the negative. What is the meaning of the positive or the negative? Do you have any idea about? If we comparison, if we do the comparison between A, B, C, D, E, so let's understand. We can sign to the positive and the negative. Positive means the better is the higher ranking, and the minus is the lower ranking, that means the poorest. Suppose if we comparison the A, okay, so A, that means B is better, C is also better, D is not better, E is. Then if we comparison B with the B, C, D, A, C, D, E, that means not better. No, okay. Then again, if we comparison the C, that means positive, positive, negative. Okay. Then if we comparison the D, so D, if we compare D with the A, so get the plus, plus, minus, and the minus. If we comparison the E with the others, so B plus, positive, negative, sorry, positive, and negative. So how can we compare, how can we take the final decision? So those who have received the highest positive value, that means you can see we got the here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times we got the better value than others. C got only the one value. D got is here only one. C got the 2. E is the position at the 0 and the A is also the 2. So who is the better? Who is the better? That means the B is better than others. I hope you understand it through the example. So this is the paired comparison method in which we can compare easily with each other employee at a one time, at a single time basically. So next we will read about the next ranking method, that is alternative ranking. Ranking employee from best to worst on a traits of traits. That means alternative ranking method says that we can understand it through we can ranking. Alternative is like employee who is at the highest, at the high, and trade being measured, and also the lowest. We have the two position at the high or at the low basically. So alternating them between highest and the lowest until all the employee to be rated have been addressed. So let's understand it through the example. Suppose we have the five employee. From the five, 2%, 3% at the top level, that means the 2% at the top, and the one is low. So between three them, we will again ranking them. That means we receive the 2%. One is the position is the highest, and another one position is the lowest. So until the all employees to be rated have been addressed, we will do the alternative ranking. We will do from the best to worst on a traits on their behavior basically. So these are the method that we use for the ranking method. So what are the advantages of the ranking method? Each employee we compare with the other person. So at a one time, we can compare the one person with the other person at the same time. Useful in small organization. If we have the number of the employees like that, 50, 40, 10, 20. So we can easily use this ranking method. But if we have the large number of the employees working in the organization, so this method is cannot be useful and we cannot compare easily with each other. Just it will take the too much time. What are the disadvantages? Because we cannot use it for the big organizations. It will take the too much time. Does not evaluate the individuality of an employee because we cannot compare. We don't know about the individuality, personality, their capability. We can just compare on their performance only. It lacks the objectivity. Sometimes we will find that that ranking method is not helpful for achieving the organization goals and all things. So according to the organization, we should firstly keep in mind the objective also. After that, we can, according to suitable for the performance appraisal, we can use the method basically. Next method we have paired comparison method. Paired comparison method, we already read, in which we compare the one person with the other person at the same time, and that means the two person is compared basically. That means each employee is compared with the other employee. Let's what are the disadvantage or the disadvantage? In the last we I didn't explain, so here I mentioned the advantage and the disadvantages of the paired comparison method. Paired comparison method is basically useful for the big organization, not for the small organization. Through this method, through the ranking method, we cannot individually trade the evaluated. But through this method, we can individually their trait will be evaluated. What are the disadvantages? The understanding of this method is difficult one. Sometimes whenever we have a large number of the employee in the organization, then we need to appraise them, because all of there is no create the bias by the manager. So that's why when we use this method, so it will create a difficulty comparison, because we have to comparison one employee with the others. That means suppose the 100 employee working there, so we will compare with the one employee with the 99 employees. So it will create the too much time. It will take too much time. It will create the difficulty also. Okay, and it involve the basically considerable time. That means the it will take the too much time for taking the result, for creating the result and appraising their performance also. So next, understand the forced distribution method. A method which forces the rater to distribute the rating of overall performance of the employee is known as the forced distribution method. That means in which method rated us to rating the performance on the basis of their overall performance. That means their like working method, their quality, their behavior, everything through this method rater to distribute the rating. This is known as the forced distribution method. Group-wise rating is done under this method. Basically, that means individually, manager cannot rating the person. They will rating to the group-wise, because this method is also the suitable for the large organization. Because for the small organization, the simple ranking method is very easy, and individual traits could not be appraised because we are rating them the group wise. So let's take the example. A group of workers doing the same job would fall into the same groups as superior, at the above average, below average, and the poor. So these are the criteria: excellent, good, very good, good, average, below average, and the poor. So according to them, they will be rating basically. So let's understand it through the example. So suppose here is the number of the employee. That means if we comparison the between the 200 employees, so 10% employee come under the excellent, 20% employees come under the good, 40% employee comes under the average, and the 20% employee comes under the below average, and the 10% employees come under the unsatisfactory. So we can compare the 200, that means the rating the employees together, that means the 200 employees together, through this method basically. Grading method. Grading at the school time, or now you can see many university colleges, many courses, there is a grading system: A plus, A, B, B plus, C plus D, and F. That was the fail basically. The certain category of abilities or the performance of employee are defined well in advance to fall in certain grades under this method. That means according to their what are their abilities, their performance, on which basis they will receive the grades. So what type of the grades they will receive? Very good, average, poor, very poor. So here are the individual traits and the characteristics are identified through the grading method basically. So let's understand, like quality of work is like the unsatisfactory, fair, satisfactory, good, outstanding. So for overall performance, we can also the quality of work, their trade, their dependability, their cooperation towards their employee, towards their superiors. Like we can grading according to them. Okay, so this is the grading system basically. Checklist method. What is the checklist method? The appraisal of the ability of an employee through getting answer for a number of questions is called the method of the checklist. These questions are related to the behavior of employee. So there are lots of the question list is available for that means the all the list of the set of the question is related with the behavior of employee, that means their individual traits basically. So through this method, they will appraise their ability of an employee for getting an answer for a number of questions is known as the checklist method. So if we let's understand it, which type of the questions are available. Is the employee satisfied with the job? Yes or no? Does he finish the job accurately? Yes and no. So on which basis manager will check his marking on that answer. Does he respect the superior? If yes, he will click on the he will tick on the yes. If no, then he will tick on the no basically. Is he ready to accept the responsibility according to their answer? Again, he will tick the yes or no. Does he obey the order? Yes or no. According to them, he will tick. Forced choice matter. In the forced choice method, a series of group of statements are prepared. That means there is some statement, group of statements are prepared. Uh, there are two types of the criteria in this method, maybe the positively or the negatively. So both these character statement, that means the positive or the negative statement, describe the characteristic of the employee, that means the features of the employee. But the rater is forced to take any one of the statement either out of positive statement or either out of negative statement. That is the choice of the rater. That means overall the performance. That means the statement on which basis of the statement he will take maybe either out of the positive statement or either out of the negative statement. Critical incident method. So through this method, we can easily understand the incident. If any incident happen in the organization and suppose the employees are available there, so what are their reaction that time? They will run, they will support, and they will help the organization. What are their behavior during that time? So the performance appraisal of an employee is done on the basis of incident occurred really to the concerned employee. Let me suppose fire occurred in the organization. So what are the reaction of the employee? Employee will run from the organization, employee will call the fire brigade, or employee will do something else to uh, cool down all the things. That means. So that means, example, a fire sudden breakdown accident. So workers, there are 5 workers available, A, B, C, D, and E basically. So reaction of A, inform the supervisors immediately. Grading is the 5. Become anxious on loss of output. 4. Try to repair the machine. Scale is 3. Complaint for poor maintenance. 2. Was happy to force taste. That is the 1. So according to their reaction, they appraise their performance. You can say they appraise, they scale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 basically. Graphic rating scale method. It is also known as the linear rating scale method. In this, the printing appraisal form is used to appraise each employee. That means the individual form, appraisal form distributed to everyone. In that form, list of traits is available, like WhatsApp of the traits, their quality, their quantity, reliability, range of the job performance characteristic from unsatisfactory to outstanding, for each trait, for every behavior while doing the work in the organization. The rating is done on the basis of point on the continuum. That means they will fill on the form they have mentioned on which basis they have rating. The common practice is to follow the 5-point scale basically. That means the unsatisfactory to outstanding, or you can say the grading is like that: a good, excellent, poor, very poor, average, and the whole thing. So this is the form. This type of the form is provided to the employees organization, in which their performance factors, list of the performance factor is mentioned, like quality of the work, volume of the work, and is like the consistently unsatisfactory, occasionally unsatisfactory, consistently satisfactory, sometimes superior, consistently superior. So these are the five grading matter. From the five, out of five, have to tick one by the peers basically. So this is the like job knowledge, information pertinent to the job, and dependability in the following. So these are the five grading system. They have to tick on the one out of the five basically. Field review matter. So an employee's performance is appraised through the interview between the rater and the immediate superior or superior of a concerned employee basically. That means through their superior, the rater will ask the question, rater will evaluate the performance of the employee basically. So what a rater will do in this in this matter, rater ask some set of the question through the superior, the individual performance of an employee. The personnel department prepare a detailed report about the information they have collected from the superior. A copy of this report is placed in the personnel file for the recording. This report will help in salary increase, help in, you can see, the promotion, demotion, and the all thing. After file of the concerned employee, after getting approval from the superior basically, because here in this matter the rater ask the question, rater maintain the file on the basis of answer he will collect from the superior. Essay matter. Essay evaluation is technique manager is required to describe the performance over the evaluation period by writing in a narrative form basically, like in a detail what are the strength, what are the weakness of the employee, what they have observed during their work time. So this type of the thing appraised by the essay matter. So next we have the peer review. What is a peer review? Peer review is like from the department, the employee selected to peer the conduct that particular evaluation for their performance. That means in this matter, basically two or four peers are you selected for this matter, for this answering question process. So the employee submits self-evaluation portfolio. The portfolio might describe how he or she met the objective of the organization. That means they can easily compare the predetermined standard during the past evaluation cycle. Supporting the materials are included, so they can easily compare that means the past determined and the present time also. Peers evaluate the employee. This may be done individually or in a group. That will the choice. They can do this to the individually or a group also. Manager and employee meet to discuss the evaluation. After they will take the decision basically. Appraisal interview. In this, accurate evaluation of the performance is a manager complete the accurate evaluation of the performance. He should arrange the appraisal interview with their employees. The appraisal interview is first step in the employee development basically. So through that they can know how what type of the development they require basically. So they provide the feedback about the employee, which to enable him to improve his performance in a future. That means it is not only for helpful for the current situation, this is helpful for the future also. So I hope you understand the traditional method of the performance appraisal. So in the next lecture we will discuss about the modern method. Thank you so much.